And the vultures are already circling and speculation about her health mounting, even though her own doctor has promised that she's fit to be president, and Trump himself weighs in at a chunky 267 imperial pounds. These pictures of Mrs. Clinton leaving a 9/11 ceremony are already the defining images of this election. They've rocked the world and threatened the Democrats' chances of holding the White House. First, she was dehydrated. Then it was pneumonia. Why can't she just tell us the whole truth, her critics demand, about everything? By the end of this week, we will know more about both candidates' physical condition than we do about our own bodies. But such candour has come very late for the Democratic candidate, with the election round the corner. Yes, Hillary's treatment isn't fair, but she's running out of road to convince voters, not just that she's healthy, but that she's honest.
Yeah, do you know, I found this absolutely fascinating. I found myself reading so many conspiracy theories about Mrs. Clinton.
The body double one.
Yes, I was just about to say
fantastic.
It's the bizarrest thing. And there are people that are dedicating hours of their lives to, like, coming up with these bizarre things. And I'm looking at them thinking, have you not got anything else better to do than, like, talking about, is this a body double? Talking about the shoes. The shoe was different. The earring was different to this woman. It's just weird. However, I do think that there's something in this. I think when you look at how Clinton is polling, when it comes to trustworthiness, she's really quite low down. And it's not just because of this health. It's stuff like whether it's email servers, her role in the foundation, you know, transcripts of speeches, whatever it is, people are saying we're not regarding this lady as being honest. And she needs to do something very, very quickly to try and kind of switch that balance. Because in theory, a lot of people would say Trump versus Clinton, Clinton should be like polls ahead, and she's not. It's very neck and neck, and this trustworthiness is something that's kind of key to this. Now, when you look at the health specifically, when you watch that footage, she didn't just stumble. When you actually look at that properly, her feet are like literally being dragged along the floor into the car. And there's a lot of people, when you look at these conspiracy people, are saying, we think she's got Parkinson's. People are convincing themselves that she's got a really, really serious illness. Now, what they need to be doing is just be honest.
Nick, do you think it's too late for full disclosure for Hillary?
No, I don't think it's too late. I think that the team who are around her are about as adept as Roy Hodgson, it would appear. They handled it appalling. That's one for you, Greg. They handled it appallingly on Friday, the previous Friday, when they could have come out with it. I think there does have to be some sense of full disclosure. I think the Democrats are extraordinarily fortunate. If it wasn't Trump they were up against, it could well be game over as a result of that video you just played out. Yeah. But Trump is a difficult candidate in many senses of the word, so they're still in with a shout. But I'm glad you mentioned that Parkinson's disease, because I happen to have someone in my family who had Parkinson's disease. If that is the case, that poor woman, why the hell would she want to stay in the race? Because it is so gruelling. But it actually doesn't matter whether it's pneumonia, it doesn't matter whether it's Parkinson's, it doesn't matter whether she's overheated, or it makes her sound like an old sort of Ford truck. What matters is she needs to tell the truth, and that's what it could live or die on.
Well, I don't... Sorry, Rachel.
I think she is telling as much truth as her mind is want. And by the way, on that clip, I heard from a friend who's covering the campaign in New York that the press weren't even told that she left the 9/11 ceremony. She left without alerting anyone. The press were in a pen. One of her minders told somebody on Fox News, and that happened to be filmed by a bystander. So we wouldn't have even seen that clip if the Democratic campaign around Hillary had anything to do with it. So I think you're right. There is a question mark over how much she is prepared to put out there, which raises doubts in people's mind, which is affecting the polls.
I just think I don't understand the sort of double standards in terms of transparency and disclosure when it comes to Hillary versus Trump.
Or other presidents.
Exactly. Trump still hasn't released his taxes. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? He has not released any of the financial... Can I finish? Hasn't released any of the financial statements from his foundation, and he's allowed to get away with it. And in terms of health, obviously, if she's seriously ill, then no, she can't run. But there have been lots of phenomenal presidents who've had health issues. FDR, JFK... Reagan had Parkinson's towards the end of his presidency.
I think it was Alzheimer's, actually.
Alzheimer's, sorry, apology.
Sorry.
But he wasn't well towards the end. So
But you're not advocating more of that, though, are you?
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is that
then.
we have had amazing presidents who have had serious health issues
but as
and
they're
have been
trying
brilliant
for the
and
White
have
House,
hidden
or while
it.
they're in the White House.
No, but they've
I'm glad you
hidden
agree
it.
Reagan was brilliant.
I do, actually.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I'll give it. I mean,
checking.
not on everything,
And
but you have to.
meanwhile, Trump, though, he's now doing a show today, Dr. Oz.
Oz,
in which he's going to talk about, please, pray spare us, his testosterone levels.
Well, I think in
his
Trump's
statin
case,
intake.
I'd like to know about his mental condition.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I really do think that...
I'd rather pneumonia than a
But
I'd like to
psychopath.
see a psych report.
But this is a bizarre story, isn't it? I mean,
It's a belting story.
Do you think it is? Oh, I think it's
The woman
boring
who
beyond
could
belief.
lead the Western world can't get into the back of a minivan.
No, but
She's
neither
not
could
very well.
FDR.
She's
Neither
not
could
very well and collapsed.
JFK.
So what? Have you ever collapsed? I certainly have.
I have.
Yeah.
Would
I'm
you
not
vote for Trump?
Pardon me?
You're voting for Trump anyway, as it were.
I'm
if you
more
had a
leaning
vote.
to Trump. I haven't
Oh,
got a
no,
vote.
you're not.
No, this is what
Thank
worries
God
me.
you-
I think this is
Thank
a
God you haven't got a
massive...
vote.
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
Greg, do you agree this could be the game changer for Hillary? Or do you think if she shows in the debate, which is in 10 days' time, that she's vigorous?
I think it's...
If she's vigorous and she holds Trump to
All news
account.
issues go away.
Yes.
All news stories go
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Something's a big story one week, and nothing
it's
the next
gone.
week. And this will go away
Yeah.
because something else will happen. I
she's
hate the
fit
thought.
and well.
I hate the thought that, well, she's not well at the moment. She's
Yeah.
got pneumonia. But I hate the thought that what's happened in the last week is going to decide the
That would
American
be so
So
terrible.
it's half the Western world.
But sadly, this is a woman who has had a number of falls. After one fall, she had to wear special... No, she's fallen in her house. She's fallen up the stairs in
I've
South
fallen.
Carolina.
I've fallen every 5 minutes.
Her husband...
Yeah, but we
Her husband thinks she's got...
we wouldn't make you
Her
president.
husband thinks she's got
Exactly.
flu. The campaign team say she's overheated. Knows she's got pneumonia. Let's just have the bloody
Give
truth.
her a
How hard
break.
is this?
She's had pneumonia
Truthful
and
and
she's
honest.
recovering nicely, says her
But
doctor.
you won't believe-
Why can't we accept she's
Yeah.
telling
When
the
they
truth?
come out and say that and say, look, what she's got is a mild form of pneumonia. which
Walking
is,
pneumonia.
Right, walking pneumonia. People like you don't believe that. You
Of
say,
course I
oh,
don't.
she's
Because you
not.
don't
So
want
in
to
which
believe
case...
it.
I can't believe it. You
win.
think it's not a story. You're a bloody journalist. The minute the police tell you everything's under control, right, everything is clearly not under
Yeah, but
control.
that's-
The minute the government says everything's fine,
But
oh
it-
my God, let's get to the hills.
But
You
it
know, the
is-
minute-
JFK
that's
was
the total joke.
bedridden.
Conspiracist.
JFK was
So you
bedridden.
seem to say
maybe
we should
with
have it
other
all the
women.
time then.
Yeah, that's true. As was FDR. They
Sorry,
were both
let's have
brilliant
Michelle,
presidents.
you must have
Sorry.
your say.
Haven't we got to look at why people would perhaps keep something a secret? Because she knew that she had pneumonia when she went to that memorial, apparently. So she deliberately
She thought
didn't
she
tell
could
them.
style it out.
If it's
Yeah,
pneumonia.
but then the problem that you've got is, on the one hand, me included, we want transparency and integrity and honesty. On the other hand, what we do when we get it, we don't like it. So what we'll have is, I've seen so many people that are saying, so first of all they're going mad because she never said she had pneumonia. Now when they're saying she had pneumonia, they're saying, well, why would you continue to work through it? And it's almost like sometimes we have these superhuman expectations
Of our
people.
politicians, we do.
And we want this honesty. And when we get the honesty, we beat them over the head with what they've just disclosed to us.
The problem is that they are both quite old. You know,
68.
If Trump wins, he's the oldest person ever to become
And she'll be the
president.
second
And she'll be the
after Reagan, isn't it?
Yes, she's second after Reagan.
Yeah.
And therefore, health is an issue. I agree, but I don't think one collapse like
Exactly.
that is a big thing.
I think
If
we
it
should-
happened every week for the next 6 weeks,
Then
then I
we'd be
think it is a
worried,
big
yeah.
thing.
Greg, I'm sorry I'm having to give you lessons in journalism, but it's important that
Well,
journalists continue to...
maybe we had a different views of what journalism was.
Remember we were told...
I mean, yours
that-
is just a sort of tabloid
Well,
view,
remember,
isn't it?
never mind, yes, never mind. We were told Michael Jackson was perfectly fit to come for his tour in the O2, so we know what happened there.
Well, we don't know what happened to Michael
But that
Jackson,
was-
do we? But
Oh,
we won't
my
get into
God.
that. So we know he died.
So,
Drugs,
so they
though,
put
it's
doctors'
different.
orders. They can put doctors' orders. I could say that I'm
that's
perfectly sane.
prescription
Would you
drugs,
believe it?
though.
I mean,
But
let's
the
be
one
honest.
person
No, I
I
don't
wouldn't have
actually.
is what Trump has done, is take a television doctor to tell
I
him.
know.
Because the one thing you know about television doctors is they stopped practising years ago.
Yeah. And did we see the picture of Trump's doctor? I mean, you wouldn't believe him for a second, would you?